What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers and giving you our season preview, including record predictions for the 2021 NFL season. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, it's Mike here. Over 93% of you who view our show each and every day are not subscribed to the channel. If you could hit that red subscribe button, it would help us out tremendously, and it is completely free for you guys. If you want to stay up to date with our daily content, then click that bell icon and you will be notified every time we go live. Nick and I both really appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and we can't wait to keep making more daily content for you. All right, Nick, as we continue our series, we have finally finished up with the NFC West. Moving on to the NFC North, we start off with the Green Bay Packers. And the Green Bay Packers, as we start these with the signings and additions, didn't actually have that many. The key signings here were re-signing Aaron Jones and Kevin King, Blake Bortles coming in at the quarterback position, and Amari Rogers being the lone wide receiver that they bring in to help this offense. Do any of these sound appealing to you?
I mean, when you look at it, it's not a lot, but I think that bringing back Aaron Jones has to be one of the biggest signings this offseason because what he can do for an offense is unbelievable. This guy is an extreme workhorse. What he did for the Packers last season, the year prior, he really took them to the next level. You don't get Davante Adams without having an Aaron Jones to offset him in the backfield. You need to have that dynamic pairing, and Aaron Jones does just that. He is an extremely good rusher in the NFL. He's one of the best running backs that we've seen in a while, and him on this roster, even if they don't have Aaron Rodgers this season, they'll still be a winning team because they still have guys like Aaron Jones on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, you just talked about it, the big question marks surrounding Aaron Rodgers, and I think the biggest addition to this team comes in the form of Blake Bortles, and that's simply because you have a quarterback on the roster with starting experience that not only got his team to the playoffs, but also got him to a conference championship game. Albeit lost in the final seconds, but he still has that experience where Jordan Love is still struggling in OTAs. The reports out of Green Bay Packers camp are that he's not up to where they thought he would be right now. And having Blake Bortles, I think, is the biggest addition for this team because he brings veteran leadership, veteran presence, and he knows how to win in the NFL. I think surrounded by a really good team, this guy can really come in and be almost like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he's going to be able to throw a lot of touchdowns, throw some interceptions. He throws some questionable balls, but he's going to be a lofty veteran in this league. And I think for the Packers, he's kind of their security blanket following whatever Aaron Rodgers decides to do. But enough of that. Let's take a look at their losses, and not too many to talk about here. Corey Linsley, the center, Christian Kirksey from the linebacking group, and again, Aaron Rodgers. Is he coming back? We don't really know. So which one of these really stands out to you?
Well, the ones that we do know, I'm going to take Corey Linsley. To me, Corey Linsley is one of the best, if not the best center in the NFL. And he was such an addition to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers knows how to dissect the defense, but also having Corey Linsley to help him out was such an asset and help this offense get even further in this conference. Corey Linsley is like a second quarterback on the field. He knows everything the defense is doing. He knows how to call out what's going to happen and how the offensive line needs to move. I think the loss of Corey Linsley is going to be known right away. It's going to be tough for Aaron Rodgers to get new chemistry with a new center, and he's going to now have to figure out, can he handle, dissecting all these defenses on his own, or was Corey Linsley really a major factor in how he was able to go through his decision making process?
Corey Linsley, a major loss for the Green Bay Packers. And honestly, not too big loss with Christian Kirksey. I'm going to talk about him just a little bit. He did not work out in Green Bay. I mean, he was basically a no-show in Green Bay, and I think they were happy to watch him walk away. But what Christian Kirksey brings is athleticism. He brings another body that you have to account for when opposing offenses come into Green Bay. They have to take a look and say, okay, Christian Kirksey's on the field. He can rush the passer, he can drop in coverage, he can do everything. So you're going to miss that presence just a little bit, but I think it's a welcomed loss that Christian Kirksey is no longer wearing the green and gold. But the biggest question still remains is Aaron Rodgers, and for this video, we're actually going to go through it without Aaron Rodgers because it just seems like he will not be playing for them. So as we have done with the series so far, Aaron Rodgers will not be playing for the Packers, and that's just our opinion. That's how we're going to go through this, and at this point, we have to stay with it. We're going to stick with it. So let's move forward with the record predictions for the 2021 season. All right, as we do with all of these videos, let's get started with the record predictions for the Green Bay Packers. Starting off with week 1, the Packers are on the road in New Orleans, Louisiana. They are facing the Saints this time with no Drew Brees. So we're looking at a matchup with no Aaron Rodgers, no Drew Brees. This is kind of an interesting matchup when you look at the Packers Saints because those are two of the most household names you could find throughout the NFL, and they're not going to be there for this Sunday matchup. So I'm really looking forward to this to see, how Jordan Love does, to see how Jameis Winston does. When I take a look at where these teams are, the only loss that we can talk about with the Packers is Aaron Rodgers. With the Saints, they lost a whole lot of pieces. They lost a lot of veterans that they had to cut salaries and, they retirements and whatever the case is. So at this point, I think the Packers are slated just a little better to beat them. So I think the Packers will win this game easily.
And then week 2, the Detroit Lions make their way to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers for the first time this season. And look, even without Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers are still a much better team than the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is learning this offense for the first time. He doesn't have great weapons. Their defense is lackluster. The Packers should have a pretty easy time in week 2.
Absolutely. So starting off the season 2-0, even without Aaron Rodgers, the Pack has definitely got to be happy about that. But then the Packers go on the road to Santa Clara, not Santa Clara. Then the Packers go on the road to San Francisco where they face the 49ers. And this is going to be a bumpy ride for them because I believe that the 49ers are a well-oiled machine. Their biggest issue last year was health, and all these players are coming back healthy. They're coming back stronger. Jimmy Garoppolo has something to prove. I think that the 49ers are going to take this game, handing the Packers their first loss of the season.
Then in week 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers make their way to Green Bay, and this is another tough matchup for Green Bay. Big Ben is still there. The wide receivers for the Steelers are much better than Green Bay. The defense is overall a better team. The pass rush is going to be tough because TJ Watt is going to take advantage of that right side where Ricky Wagner is no longer, and I think that it's going to be tough for Jordan Love to stay upright with TJ Watt all over the backfield. To me, the Steelers are going to take this one in week 4.
Coming off a loss to the Steelers, back-to-back losses, the Packers go on the road yet again, face the Cincinnati Bengals, and I believe here that the Packers will start to right the ship. Jordan Love will have a more comfortability within this offense. Matt LaFleur is going to get some play calling to get the ball out of his hands early and often. Aaron Jones will be there. Still have Devontae Adams and Robert Tonyan. I believe that once the season really gets underway, we're talking about weeks 5 through 8, this team is going to be clicking a little bit more, and I believe that the Bengals are a pretty good matchup for them to showcase some of the things that they're working on, and being able to showcase for this team moving forward. So I have the Packers beating the Bengals week 5.
That in week 6, the Green Bay Packers are on the road in Chicago against the Bears. And at this point, I believe Andy Dalton will still be the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears, which is a good sign for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers because he's not going to make some great throws. He's not going to be working well with such a lackluster offensive line. The Green Bay Packers edge rush, Darius Smith, Preston Smith, these guys are going to have a field day in that backfield. The Green Bay Packers are going to take week 6.
Then moving into week 7, the Packers come off their 2-game road trip to host the Washington football team. And I believe that the Washington football team is going to have every answer and then some. This defense is absolutely going to swarm Jordan Love or Blake Bortles, depending on who is playing for the Packers at this point. But I do believe that this defense is no joke. This defensive front 7 is going to absolutely dominate this offensive line, which was ranked in the top 3 over the last 3 years. I think the loss of Corey Linsley is really going to show up here. I think that you're going to see a lot of issues, especially in the trenches. But overall, I believe that the Packers are going to be overwhelmed by Washington in week 7.
Then in week 8, the Green Bay Packers are on the road once again against the Arizona Cardinals. And this is an extremely tough matchup. When you look at the additions of J.J. Watt and A.J. Green, Malcolm Butler, these main pieces are going to play such a pivotal role in facing top teams like the Green Bay Packers. And the Cardinals are going to use this as one of their statement games as to why they are the real deal. They are here to stay, and they are fighting for the NFC Championship.
Staying on the road for yet another road game this early in the season, the Packers do not get an easier matchup hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years. The Chiefs are out for blood. They are coming for the Packers. This is supposed to be one of those all-time matchups. You're supposed to see Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. Again, no Aaron Rodgers in this video, so we have the Chiefs absolutely dominating the Packers in this one, and the Packers will finally get to go home for a little stretch.
Then in week 10, Seattle Seahawks make their way to Lambeau Field, and it's going to be a tough matchup for Seattle. It's going to be, getting colder, and Russell Wilson's going to have to deal with Kenny Clark and the edge rush I mentioned earlier. It's going to be tough for Seattle's defense with their porous secondary to handle Davante Adams. To me, this is going to be a huge Davante Adams game. He's going to prove just how good he is, and Packers are going to take this one in week 10.
In week 11, the Packers face off against the Vikings for the first time this season, and there's been a lot of changes on both of these rosters, and I believe that the Vikings actually got a little better. I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I think that their defense is getting stronger. Patrick Peterson knows how to play and command the back end of this defense really well. You're going to have a very healthy and strong defensive line, and I believe that the Vikings are going to be able to handle the Packers at home in Minnesota.
Then in week 12, the Los Angeles Rams make their way to Green Bay, and this is another extremely tough matchup for Green Bay as Matthew Stafford is a familiar face for the Green Bay Packers. He knows all too well how to handle this Packers defense, and he's going to use all of those new weapons he has to take advantage of them. The Los Angeles Rams are going to have an easy time with Green Bay in week 12.
In week 13, the Green Bay Packers have their bye week, so starting off in week 14, the Chicago Bears visit Lambeau Field for the first time this year, and the Chicago Bears are going to be in an interesting spot where I expect Justin Fields to be the quarterback at this point. He's going to get a hard look at this Packers defense, the way they have it set up. They're going to be able to swarm him. They're going to confuse him. They're going to put a lot of things in front of him. I have the Packers winning this in a very close battle. It's a low-scoring battle at that. I have the Packers winning this game.
Moving into week 15, the Green Bay Packers are on the road at Baltimore, and it's going to be a tough matchup for the Smith brothers to contain Lamar Jackson. Kenny Clark is going to struggle with Lamar Jackson running up the middle and J.K. Dobbins. To me, the Ravens have added so many offensive weapons. Now Lamar Jackson's really going to show his arm talent, and this defense for the Ravens has stayed pretty solid. They lost a couple edge pieces, but for the most part, their secondary is still one of, if not the best in the NFL, and they should have a pretty easy time with Green Bay.
Things do not get easier for the Green Bay Packers as now they are hosting the Cleveland Browns, who are arguably one of the strongest teams in the NFL, made up very, very massive improvements over the course of this offseason. In week 16, they're playing a Saturday game, and I believe that the Browns are going to stomp all over the Packers. I think that this defense, this offense, they're going to be able to score points. They're going to be able to defend against the Packers offense. Nothing's nothing's going to go right for the Packers on this Saturday afternoon, and the Browns are going to win this handily.
Moving into week 17, the Minnesota Vikings go to Lambeau Field this time. And after seeing the Vikings once this season, the Packers should have a better answer for the Vikings. To me, the Packers are a team that can learn from their mistakes once and never repeat them, and they will win week 17.
In week 18, the Packers are looking up at the playoff standings. They have a viable opportunity to get into the playoffs at this point. They're taking a look around the league, and they got to beat the Lions. I mean, there's no question about it. They got to go on the road to Detroit. They're one of their most frivolous division rivals, and the Detroit Lions are going to take advantage of that. The Detroit Lions don't have much to lose here. They're going to be able to handle the Packers. I think they're going to stop the Packers from being able to make a playoff run here. I think that the Lions will win week 18.
Well, with a record of 7-10, it's not looking too pretty, but I mean, honestly, what can you really expect if Jordan Love is truly going to be the starting quarterback of this team? Devontae Adams is going to have to learn a whole new chemistry with Jordan Love. Same thing for Aaron Jones. This offensive line is going to have to get used to how Jordan Love moves in the pocket. And this defense, they've still got some issues. Their run defense has not improved. Their secondary has gotten a little bit better because they added Eric Stokes. But bringing back Kevin King, you're going to repeat the same mistakes that he made last year, especially in that playoff game. The Packers have some issues they need to work out. It's going to take a season or two to get through this quarterback change, but to me, the Packers are really going to miss Aaron Rodgers this season.
All right, well, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.